So I said, okay, let me limit myself with cassava and plantain because of what I suffered. So the whole place was flooded, and there was no way for me to harvest them because they were not yet matured for harvesting. So the whole effort was thwarted. That is why I decided not to go into rice farming.
Because normally when we plant, is the normal flood between September and October is when the flood will come and overflood, we harvest our crop. But this year, the climate change affected us. From April, the water overflowed all our swampy area. That is the cassava. Then most of the cassava got rotten.
So even at the rain, when the rain falls, we went to a farm and put our plantain sucker inside the holes. Most of the times, the water will now submerge and it dies all the cassava stems.
We are in a kind of a part of Nigeria that is vulnerable to climate change, effects of climate change in actual fact. Because for the past 5 years or so, almost every year we do have flooding. And when the flooding comes, it affects almost all our communities. And one of our main occupations is agriculture.
The cassava they die, the plantain suckers they die. So now, no way to cassava stems now buy they buy them. Sometimes 3,000, 4,000 when we buy and come they die like that. So now I say make I stop small.
Well, I think there should be a basic understanding what climate change is all about. I think it's proper to understand about climate change as responsible for the frequency of either altered frequency of known weather patterns. That has to be established. And of course, our rainfall patterns are changing, seasons are changing. And so that means that inundation patterns also are changing. So with Bayelsa State, perhaps we need more pragmatic approach to fiscal planning because of the frequency of flash floods.
When we first got to the community, we found out that most of them did not even know what climate change was. They could see the effects, but they had no idea that these were the effects of, the effects of climate change. They were aware that every year their communities were getting flooded. They were also, witnessing coastal erosion. But they did not know that gas flaring, bush burning, and some of the things they did in the community, some of their traditional practices were contributing to these things. So when we got there and we started to explain to them about climate change, so then it clicked. So what we did was now to design a project whereby we would teach them how to mitigate or to adapt to the effects of climate change and also to build their resilience.
Farmers can adopt climate-smart agriculture to manage or reduce the effect of climate change in the agricultural atmosphere. That is the climate-smart agriculture. One, the farmers have to adapt new approach of farming. Their season of farming need to be changed. The type of crop they have been planting need to be changed, like using improved types of crops.
when SDS come teach us, say, go carry hot water, do plantain, to the suckers, the way we go carry do am, we go put am for, we go cut am, carry am put for hot water, we go put hot water, to put am, put the bottom, only bottom also make it something no ant or no sub the bottom. So when we put am for the ground, we go grow better, grow come out. And I can't do am like this one come fat like this, come big like this.
We have been farming in our own ways. When we want to plant the plantains, we don't even clean it, we don't even treat it, we plant it anyhow. It will even waste time to grow, it will not even grow well. But after this training, when we undergo this agric training, the process of planting has been changed.
So for the farmers, they've testified that when they compare their current harvest to their harvest prior to our intervention, they've testified that their current harvest is a lot better.
Especially as SDM came, they taught us how to farm. That is, when the dry season will be terminating and when the wet season will be coming. So we shall calculate so that all our efforts will not be thwarted. Like now, rice, some will be matured in 6 months. When we calculate the 6 months, if planted very early, we can harvest before that place will be flooded. Those are what we got from SDN.
Some other persons even come to me for idea, because when they see the way my things are growing, they now come to ask me, how do I manage to make it? I get to tell them the same way the SDN has trained me. I taught them that way, and they too applied.
And I've even harvested about twice of this amount of produce before, but these ones are the last ones I'm harvesting this month. So SDN really helped by coming to give us techniques, the encouragement to farm and help ourselves.